the stories behind this one here. Let's go over here. Let me get a couple injectors and I'll bring them back into the light for you. Let me find one that was bad and one that was good. There was two that were bad. So the first initial thing was his water pump was out. We changed the water pump, put a new water pump in this thing, got that all sealed up. Then he said that he was getting oil in his fuel, and I kind of was skeptical when he told me that, because usually on these ISXs it's not oil in the fuel, it's usually carbon in the fuel. So, okay. As you can see there, let's get this in the light if you can. Let me get my flashlight. Shine that on there. That's just going to be a better direct source of light. Okay. If you can see that carbon there around here, okay, that injector seats right where this, right where that ridge is right there. You can see the clean spot on it. That's where the copper in the cylinder head seats, and you can see that there's carbon on the top edge of that. There should not be any carbon up here. So what's happening is the carbon's leaking past the copper, and this is your fuel drain hole in your injector, so it's going past this O-ring and right into the fuel system, right to the return, going right back to the tank. As you can see on this injector, it's clean as can be because it was sealing good. So there's your problem. Anyways, so there's no way to reseal the coppers on these early ISXs without pulling the cylinder head. It's a machine process. The head has to be replaced. Here's the other thing. He is using a gallon of oil a week, and the truck's got 900,000 miles on it. So I said, you're pulling the head off. You might as well just do it. I mean, you're right there anyway. You're already using a gallon of oil a week, so it's not going to get any better. So that's what this video series is going to be about, is in-framing this ISX CM870 Cummins. So right now I'm draining the antifreeze out of it, and I got to get the radiator off, and then we're going to roll this thing around with our special tooling and put our timing wedges and our cams, and we'll put the pin in the block to lock the crank. While the fuel system, or the coolant system's draining, let's start pulling off stuff that we can pull off. The pyrometer out. You have to get the exhaust manifold off, the turbo off of it. He said his pyrometer wasn't working either, so we got to figure out what's going on with that. Oh, the whole thing's turning on me. Got a lot of work to do. Got a whole lot of work to do. Let's go ahead and grab some end wrenches I know that I'm going to need. Alright. Somebody got it extra tight. And then we got to unplug that sensor, and then they get the turbine speed wire zip tied to that, so we need to get that unzip tied. Okay. This should come up here to another plug. There's the turbine speed sensor in it. So then we're going to have a couple lines on the bottom. We should have a turbo drain line as well down there. I'm going to pull off. The hoses are kind of in the way, aren't they? The water outlet. That's our, this is a good one here. He's got the original EGR cooler on it. It looks like the ECM's original. Oh, that's the actual that's the drain line there. That's oil. So this other line back here must be the water outlet. And my flashlight so I can see what I need to take off here. These tight quarters there, that's for damn sure. And then there's a line back behind that, so that looks to be like 10 millimeter there. I think I could probably get that loose with a flex-headed long 1/4 inch drive ratchet. Damn it, that's the wrong set. Wish John Deere would paint, like, make the boxes a different color or something so you knew what set you was grabbing. Okay, kind of a bear to get to you. Not the best thing he could do for this engine is get rid of the EGR system on it. Completely do away with it. And then you've got a real good, I mean, this one lasted 900,000, so I guess it wasn't too bad. But it probably would have even went further without that EGR on there, to be honest with you. Okay, so where do I go and what do I do here? I had to jack this thing up. It's got low pro 22.5s on it and couldn't get a damn bucket underneath the drain. Jack it up off the ground to drain the antifreeze. Poor kid, he just bought this truck too. I feel bad for him. Oh, I know what he feels like. I do know what he feels like firsthand. I'm doing it myself. Except my little 12 valve Cummins ain't gonna be near as much as this thing. Damn it. Oh! Okay. There's a screw out of something that I lost at one time or another. Okay. And I haven't messed with these engines near as much as I have the CM 871s. I've inframed a few of those. I mean, this is pretty much the same thing. The turbo's different, EGR valve's different, EGR cooler's different. You know, most of that's emissions related components that are different on them. I think I'll take this line off right here. It would be the way to do that one. It's going to be the easiest way, I think. It's kind of hard to get to that one there on the back side. I might be able to get in there and get that one off. That ain't going to be very much fun at all. I need to call my better half and have her bring me some penetrating while I'm out. I've got to save this red antifreeze. I just poured extended life coolant, brand new stuff back in it when I changed the water pump. So, okay, so that's going to be like 7/8. So Cummins told me that I have to get this thing torn apart and get a liner out and get a liner number off before we can even order a kit. Because I guess some of these earlier ISXs from the factory, they would stick oversized liners in them. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna shut this drain off right now. I'd have to jack it up again, but I'm tired of this tire turning on me. Let the jack down. Most of the water's out of it. Every time I want to lean on that tire, it turns on me. Kind of aggravating. There we go. Get things a little bit more stable here. That sucker is a real pain to get on back in there. I think it might be actually like 15/16 as well. I got the wrong size wrench on it too. 24mm, that ought to work. Oh, you're just a real pain in the ass, you know that, buddy? That is not working. Alright, let's see what is going on here. Is there any way that I can get on it from over here? Or do I just take the turbo mounting bolts loose and get on it right here? What a pain in the ass, huh? Okay. Got her loose. I called Tim Stanford there, one of my viewers. He's works on a lot more trucks than I do. I'm starting to get more and more of them, though. I think I'm going to catch you, Tim. I got a W900 sitting outside too, but I called Tim because he works on these a lot more than I do. Knows way more. He worked for Cummins. He worked for Cummins for a few years, and I said, you know, what was going on with this thing, and is there any way to change those coppers? And he said, no, it's not good news for you. You're gonna have to pull the head and change the cylinder head. So that's where we're at. If you don't know, call somebody who does. And Tim would know. Tim owned a whole fleet of his own trucks at one time, and he got smart and got rid of them. Make more money working on them than you do driving them. And there's two 18mm headed nuts here that we got to get off, and then two here. Mounting flange. Damn it, I dropped that nut. Okay, so what? I'll flashlight and find that nut that I just dropped. That's the other thing about this asphalt floor. You can't hear them when they fall. So you don't really have a frame of reference my sound when it hits the ground. So where in the heck it's at. Another bad thing about having this carbon problem that he's having, he's putting so much carbon back through the, through the combustion cycle. It kills the actuators, kills the timing actuators. It'll just destroy them. And then the oil is so gritty in this thing right now from all this carbon being in it. So I'm really curious to see how the bearings look when we get back in here. Okay, so 18 millimeter right there. How am I going to get to this one over here? Not anyway nice. Maybe back up through here somewhere, maybe. Yeah, these kind of suck here, don't they? Is there any way in hell I'm going to get an in wrench on that? We'll try it. I think I've got an 18 millimeter wrench out. Maybe not. Do that and get a cheater for it. Let's get this. We'll go with the easy one first. Oh, wow. Okay, that's not happening, is it? Something. Holy shit. Okay. Yeah. Hammer time. And we'll show you some tough. Will not play nice with you. You will cooperate. You will be in compliance, one way or the other. Don't make me get into cutting torch out. Alright, I wish I could get this light to where there wasn't much. There's the old water pump. There's a belt tensioner that was seized up on it. There, maybe that's a little better. I mean, it's kind of hard to get rid of the shadows unless I get the light directly down, which is not going to happen. So it is what it is. I'm sure somebody will say something to me about light. It never fucking ends. Shine my light on that, so that's not going to happen because I'm going to hit right there before I ever even get a partial turn on it. Gonna have to get like a extension and a socket or something and get up in there. That's the only way I see that's ever going to work. Alright, so we can maybe do that. Get this extension and get, I don't know if I should go with a deep one. What kind of length I need here? Not that length, that puts me down way too far. If I had a short socket, still it's going to be too far, I think. I was going to try to get over here by the frame rail. Is this flex tube broke or something? Sure is mighty flexible. Ah, jeez, okay. Good times, buddy, good times. Okay, I got that all configured there, but I gotta have a shorter socket. That's extension. This extension is not going to happen. Too long. Let's go with a one like that. try that. Where's my breaker bar at? And I think I left my 1/2-inch drive good ratchet laying on the Komatsu loader down south I was working on. Scatterbrained. Somebody says, yeah, you need to take a break, you're making mistakes now. Yeah, tell that to the bill collector. Yeah, I made a mistake on a deal there, I need to take a break now. Tough shit your bills do. Yeah, they don't really see things in that frame of reference. And that extension is too long as well. I'm not going to be able to ever get that on there. What a pain in the ass, huh? Alright guys, got those 2 bolts loose. My gun must be getting weak on me or something. I don't know, it's not doing what it should be doing here lately. It's probably about time to get another one. They're tighter than hell too, that's one thing. Let's get over here where we can pull on it. Wow. Yeah, they're tight. Wow. It's hard to believe how tight they are actually. Yeah, I'll knock my fucking teeth out. Wow! Yeah, I had to pull on them pretty good with that breaker bar to get them loose, so maybe that gun isn't very weak. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Okay. Apparati back here out of the way. We're going to be laying a lot of parts on that catwalk back there. Okay. Yeah, we got to get exhaust back pressure sensor unplugged. The upper radiator hose off of there, and I got to pull a bunch of crap off that I just put back on there. Alright, let's pull. Exhaust manifold needs to come off. This water line's gonna have to come off. Let's cut this zip tie here they got on there. A hose clamp here or something here. I've got that shut off, huh? Is that right, or? Huh. I would think this time of the year you would, surely they can't have that shut off. I would think you would want water into your heater core this time of the year so you didn't freeze to death. Right. There's a support bracket going from the GR cooler to the back of the cylinder head. That'll have to come loose before the head comes off. Okay. Where's my open-ended adjustable? Layman's terms, crescent wrench. Take this line off here. Okay, I gotta grab that. Okay, guys, I'm back. Of course, you didn't know that I left, but anyway, one of my really good customers. He's a really good guy. He owns a dump truck service business, excavation service type thing. You know, he does a lot of septic tanks, things like that. He called me out, and it's an hour and a half to get to him from where I'm at right here, and I was in the process of doing this, and he calls me and he goes, I went to go get my excavator and pick it up with my equipment trailer, and he's got a Kenworth W900, and he says, I'd change this thing by myself, but I'm out in the middle of nowhere here, and I'm really surprised my phone works. I really need to be rescued right now. And I said, what's the problem? He says, the damn lower radiator hose split. I just can't take a chance of running this truck. I don't want to smoke this truck engine. He said, can you come bring me some 3-inch silicone hose and bail me out? And I said, sure. So I drove out there, and he was out in the middle of what we call a good old BFE. So we went out there and bought some antifreeze and some hose and got him going. And he's one of those guys that he won't let you leave until he pays you. He's my kind of guy. You know, he's like, well, bill me and I'll pay you in a month and a half. He's not one of them dudes, you know. So I went out there and took care of him, and he goes, you don't mind following me back to the house there in Bonanza, and I've got a couple other things if you don't mind. I said, hell no, I'll let's go do it. And anyways, he's got two case 580 Super M backhoes, and one of them's got open cab, and the other one's a nice one with a cab. The one with the open cab's got you know, those rubber things that hold the hoses up there on top of the boom. Both of those were broke. I changed those for him. And then the power window on the passenger side of that Kenworth W900 wasn't working, and the window motor was just weak in it. And I thought maybe the regulator was hanging up, but I pulled the window all apart and pulled the regulator out, and it was free. And I said, well, the motor's bad. And called Kenworth, and well, we called Fleet Pride first. They said call Kenworth, and so we called Kenworth, and Kenworth won't sell you the motor by itself. You got to buy the whole damn regulator here for $400. So he said order it. So anyways, that being said, here I am again. Don't you just love having a service truck and getting called out all the time? I'm gonna spend till probably 9 or 10 o'clock tonight here, getting something going. This guy's got a family to feed, and I know he's in a crunch, man. He just bought the truck, and he needs to make money, and he's actually going to get a loan from his dad. His dad's got 5 or 6 trucks, and his dad's got the money. But you know, I've known this family here for years. I've known these guys for a long time, and they're good people. So I know they're going to pay their bill, so I'm not worried about it a bit. The kid may not have the money, but I know his dad will take care of it and get him going, and he'll make him pay him back. But anyway, I need to get this thing going early next week so this kid can get back on the road and feed his family, you know, take care of his bills, so I understand where he's coming from. So we're gonna spend some long hours and getting it done for him. As you can see, I've got a whole shop full of crap here, and all my 6430 parts are in, so that'll probably be the next video, is putting that back together. But I don't know if you guys ever heard that Merle Haggard song. You gotta hump up and get it, and that's what we're gonna have to do here. So okay, so we gotta get the radiator out of it. Okay, so where are we at? Trying to figure out what I gotta do next. Shroud. Shroud's gonna have to come loose. Let's get this bracket here off. Start getting tools out. Okay, so what we'll do is we're gonna end up pulling this condenser and flopping it over. We'll try to save the guy some kind of money. Let's pull our air hose off. I got my lifters and all that good stuff for my truck, but I don't have time to. Wow, she's a tight one, laddie. Huh, trouble. She's a tight one, buddy. Them kids won't let you in, or what? What's the deal there? They being assholes? I've been known to do that myself. Damn puppies, always chewing on shit. Never ends. Finally, after about $200 or $300 worth of laptop cords and stuff, they finally, after you thump them on the head a couple times, tell them no, fucker, don't be chewing on that. They finally learn to quit doing it. Every one of them. You know, I take that back. Joby, when he was alive, he chewed up a bunch of stuff. Duke chewed up quite a bit of stuff. Daisy never chewed nothing up. Never had one problem with her when it comes to that. I've actually, to be honest with you, actually never had any problems with her, period, really. With anything. I mean, she's probably been the most problem-free dog I've ever had. I mean, she's pretty damn good dog. Duke's a good one too. Trouble. To be completely honest with you guys, I wonder about him sometimes. That he's just, I got to keep him around people some. He went after a kid the other day, and that's something that I will not tolerate. That'll be the end of him if he bites another kid. I won't put up with that shit. People can say whatever they want. Oh, no dog deserves that. Dog bites a kid. You know, as far as I'm concerned, they can be broke of it, but if he breaks the skin on a kid or the wrong kid, I can be sued, and that ain't gonna happen. So I'm trying to keep him around people. I took him today with me to the service call and let him meet Dan and his wife, and you know, just got to try to get him around people, get where he gets used to people. And when his hair starts standing up on his back, you got to scold him and tell him no, and just get him used to being around people. Some dogs I've seen that were like, they had a buddy that had a blue heeler, and that little son of a bitch, every time you let him out of the pickup, he'd just go run and bite somebody. I mean, that's just the way he was. And he did that to me, and I kicked that prick right in the head about as hard as I could, and he did about 3 backflips. I thought I broke his neck. And my buddy says, God, you can kick him. And I said, that fucker bit me. He bit me hard. It kind of really pissed me off. And you know what, my buddy, he says, you know, that dog hasn't bit anybody ever since you kicked him in the head. He did about 3 backflips. I said, well, it was kind of a spontaneous thing. I really didn't mean to kick your dog that hard. It just, you know, he bit me hard enough back there where my leg, you know, where your knee bends behind me, to where I fucking about fell down. And it kind of caught me off guard, and it kind of spun me into a dimension of pissed off that I haven't been in a while. One of those types of deals, and it was pretty spontaneous how I just booted that sucker across the yard. But yeah, sometimes that's what it takes, though. I mean, you don't want to abuse them and start beating on a dog. I'm not saying that, but if one comes after me just for no reason at all and just attacks me, I'm gonna kick the shit out of it. Okay, we got to get the tensioner loose. So we'll get another tool out. Trouble, you found enough stuff to chew on there? You can chew on that old pop lid. I don't care about that. I spoil my dogs to death. I hardly ever have to fucking whip one of them or anything. But I did. When he bit that kid the other day, I whipped his ass for that. That's wrong. You can't let him get away with that. Especially with people these day and age and how sue happy they are. They're just looking for a reason to sue you for something. I shouldn't be able to get that. Trouble? What you doing, bud? Huh? What you doing, partner? What you doing, partner? Oh, yo, what you doing, buddy? Boy. Laying down in your old dirt, huh, bud? I don't know if we're gonna have enough cojones here. And I'm talking about a kid. The kid was, I don't know, not even 2 years old yet. That's just completely uncalled for, you know. There's no reason for that kind of stuff, to let that go on. And it wasn't just playing, no. I mean, I watched the whole thing. His hair stood up and he went after him, you know, and I said, what in the hell, man? You got a death wish dog? Because, to be honest with you, my buddy there, if he could have got to him before I did, he probably would have killed him. That was his kid, you know. Yeah, how come I got on this thing the other day? I can't get on it now. And to be honest with you, I've never had a dog that did that before. It's the first time I've ever had a dog that was going after people like that. And he's just a puppy. So I just really think there's a lot of hope for him. If he gets too old, that, you know, it's like teaching an old dog new tricks. I don't know if that's going to happen, but as a young dog, I think if we keep him around kids and people more often and really keep an eye on him and teach him not to do that, I think he'll be just fine. He's very smart little pup. Picks up and learns pretty fast, so I'm not giving up on him. I just got to really watch him. I don't want to be sued for him you know, if there's a kid around or something. I really watch now with him and make sure that he doesn't do something stupid and bite somebody, and then I end up getting a lawsuit over it and losing my entire livelihood because of the damn dog. Where is my 3/8 impact wrench at? What did I do with that? Okay, there's the 1/2 inch. Am I losing my mind here? Okay. Alright, so get back after it. We got the battery cable off. Oops. That's not going to work. What size do I got here? 13mm. Okay. Ow! Funny bone, ain't so funny. Really don't find anything funny about it. So I had all this shit off too when I had all that stuff off of there when I did the water pump too. Oh shit. Where's the 14 at? 14 will get us close enough to 9/16. And that was real slick and smooth. Drop that in the floor. Alright, what size are those? Those are going to be like 17 or 16. And just pull the alternator back off of it. We already had it off once. Okay, and this radiator, there shouldn't be much tension on it now, being as that the hood is off. Should be able to kind of zip it off of there. There's two different size bolts on this thing, if I remember right. Yeah. Yep, two different size bolts. You gotta love it when they do shit like that to you. And I'll have to find that washer. Okay, so there's that. Pull this hose off right here. Let's zip the let's see here. What's gonna be in the way of our condenser? There's only one bolt holding this on, up here on top. Ah! Looks like a 10mm. Those are broke loose, that's what happened. The bolts are still in it. Well, still a bolt missing over there. We'll have to put a bolt in that when we put it back together. This here's been kind of chicken shitted together. Get the condenser off, flop it over out of the way. Yeah, I wish I'd have been made out of money and I would have bought me like a, it's what my dream is. I always wanted a 337 Peterbilt for a service truck. Nice trucks, man. But I don't have enough pennies in my piggy bank. I got a buddy that does the same thing I do. Shit, that was real smooth, wasn't it? He got in with some pretty good outfits in the logging industry, and he makes some pretty damn good money. He's got a, God, it's a Kenworth, I think it's a T370, something like that. It's a nice, it's custom paint job on it, brand new truck, 14-foot box on it, 12,000 pound Stellar crane, Stellar body. It's a nice truck. I bet it's a $200,000 truck. It's nice. Did it on the top but not on the bottom. I found out where this truck came from. I won't name any names, but there were some farmers over in east of here. Let's just say east of here, and they went bankrupt. They went bankrupt, and this one here was bought at the auction, at the bankruptcy auction. These guys, little story behind these guys that went bankrupt over there. they're your typical farmers that you always thought, what the hell are we doing wrong? We don't have this nice fancy equipment, and these guys just seemed like they were just doing better than everyone else was. Well, the fact of the matter is they were borrowing a lot of money that they couldn't pay back, buying equipment that always had to be new and all this other stuff, and they had this I'm not gonna say this is fact. This is the rumor I've heard from like 10 different people now. So anyways, the rumor is that these guys filed for bankruptcy. Not sure what chapter they filed for, but they filed for bankruptcy, and it went to bankruptcy court, and the lawyers were representing them, and I guess the lawyers for the the prosecution side, I guess you would say, I'm not sure what you would say, it'd be on the maybe it was the bank's lawyers. I'm not sure how all that shit works, to be honest with you guys. But anyways, the lawyers had found this hidden money. They'd claimed some insurance money from some bad potatoes that happened I guess a couple years ago, and they never told these lawyers about this hidden money in this hidden bank account. Well, rumor is that they kicked him out of bankruptcy court for lying to them. So they ended up auctioning all their shit off, and it sounds like they couldn't even really file for bankruptcy is what it sounds like. They got a great big fender washer up there. I've been around this stuff my whole life, and I've seen a lot of shit like that, I'll tell you that. A lot of that stuff. When I was a kid, there was these guys that come in here, and they were, this is all broke loose. We'll weld this all up for him, all we got here. But they were called the Heath Brothers, and they were from Southern California, and they was going to come up here and show us dumb bastards how to farm, and pretty much told that to everybody up here. We didn't know what the hell we were doing, and we didn't have this fancy new equipment and all this stuff, and they lasted about 3 years up here, and then they filed for bankruptcy, and they were gone. Seen it happen 100 times up here. I can name time after time. There's another outfit called Pacific West Nursery. They'd come up here, and they blowed and goed for about, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, and just, the strawberry industry, man, it cost these guys, by the time, this is back when I was working there, this has been 5-6 years ago, back when I was working there, I know by the time they planted them and took care of the plants all year round, labor, chemicals, spraying, harvesting, and they take them down and trim them in the trim sheds and then ship them. It was something like $16,000, $18,000 an acre back then, is what I was always told is what they had into them. Well, this guy, he was from Canada. He come up here and he was pretty much telling everybody that he was just going to kick our ass, and he lasted about 3 years, 3 or 4 years, and they had an auction right over here across the road and sold all these shit, but he's just gonna went out and bought brand new Challengers and brand new this and brand new that, and couldn't pay for it. What I just want. And then the other thing is, if he would have been fine if he would have not gotten too ambitious, and he got over ambitious, and he bit off more than he could chew is what he did. Oh, I see, this side here had a couple shims in it for some reason. You can see where they were right there, but he bought a bunch of, basically he got so much ground and so much going on too quick, too fast, just too fast, and he just way overextended himself. Okay. falling apart. Let's get our shroud off, Dookie. Alright. Life will be so much easier now that that shit is out of the way, bud. Get the fan off. Pull the front. We gotta get that air compressor flopped out of the way and get that low upper radiator hose the rest of the way off. So we got a long ways to go. Okay, let's get the old fan off of her. What have we got there? Looks like to me about a... supposed to be 9/16, so we'll just use a 14. Maniacs. You guys are maniacs. Okay. Alright. Take the fan and the fan shroud, and we'll set them back here by the drive tires. Alright. Brand new belt there and a brand new belt here. There's the motor mount. Just fill them up there. We will have all kinds of stuff laying back here. See, I didn't think that was supposed to come loose from there, but and we'll pull the fan hub off. We have to pull this bracket assembly back off of here, which I've already had it off once. I did the water pump. It's okay. I didn't know we were going to be going into her this far. Should have known when he told me it had 900,000 miles on it. That I was going to be doing an in-frame. He's got another truck, and he's got 2 trucks this kid does, and his old Freightliner, and he says, I'm jumping in it now so I can pay you. You know, these guys are working. They're a real good, hard-working family. They pay their bills, you know. They don't like being delinquent on anything like that. They believe in paying their way, so you got to admire them for that. I'm kind of the same way, though. I don't like owing people money. I don't like it at all, so... She's gonna whip your ass, Trouble. I know you think you're tough, you're just a pup, but you get her in the wrong spot and she ain't gonna like it, and she is going to whip upon you like nothing. Everybody thinks that Duke's always the one that... I keep telling people, Daisy's the sleeper cell. She is the regulator. If things always in the house, if there's a dog fight between any of them, if she gets involved, it stops, because she goes in there and just kicks everybody's ass. I'm not kidding you. You can look at Duke and Daisy, and they both look about the same size, but she's solid. We weighed her the other day. She weighs 72 pounds, and he weighs about 58. So she's just solid, man, like you wouldn't believe. These three here, when they're just by themselves, they play. We've got a Cocker Spaniel at home that is just, he's just an asshole, you know. He's just always picking fights, and every time he picks a fight, he gets his ass whipped again, and he's just one of them dogs that never learns anything. Okay, let's see if we can get this condenser. I don't know, it might just be easier just to take the damn thing off, you know what? Get it out of the way. Yeah, if I cut all their zip ties off, I should be able to fold it clear back over here. Those white zip ties don't have any UV protection, of what I've always been told, but I know that they always break really easy. The black ones do too over time, but not like those white ones do. Well, if we can just be careful with it and not screw something up, we'll be alright. There we go. Let's see, can we probably just lay it down there on the ground for now, huh? Somewhere back here, maybe? Yeah, this is going to work out just fine. Just lay it all back here. There we go. Yeah, and we still have room. This is what's so nice about a Peterbilt, an extended hood piece. That is what's so nice about them. You can actually work on them. Okay, so we got to pull this bracket assembly back off of here. Warren harness needs to be pulled clear off. Might as well start unhooking all this stuff. Get it. Okay, there should be a bracket right here, and then bracket the harness from that. Let's go ahead and some of you tractor guys out there, you might as well start learning these Cummins like this, because John Deere is starting to put a lot of these Cummins in their tractors now. I think Cat really screwed up by getting out of the truck market. I mean, I don't know. They didn't. I think it seems like they didn't want to play the emissions game. I might be wrong, but I think Cummins kind of took up the slack and capitalized on it. And then there was one back in there and one back in there, which we need extensions for. You guys are crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Crazy much. Crazy much, huh, Daisy? You're just crazy. I know we're gonna burn the midnight oil, but you will get rewarded when we get home with nice doggy treats. You will be happy. Trust me, you will be very happy. We're going to take care of you puppy dogs. Well, I guess the good news is the water pump can stay where it's at. get an extension I can get on that one, so let's get this one here off. I think I can get it with this end wrench. Okay. Oh, that's right, I already grabbed a hold of it and started loosening it before I did anything. I forgot about that. Huh. Huh, you crazy mutts. Yep. Got the heater going in the shop. It's nice and comfortable in here. Okay, so what did I do with the socket? Dipshit. There we go. Center thread, left-handed thread. Oh yeah. Rebuilt the fan clutch on my buddy's log truck the other day. Okay, there's a gentleman in North Carolina that messaged me, and I've been meaning to get back to him. So if you're watching this, I'll get back to you. I'm sorry, just been swamped. It's been go go go, crazy crazy crazy. Okay, these things, if you guys have ever been around them, they're a real pain in the ass to get off. Bring the rubber mallet and hit that sucker and get it loose. Okay. Sometimes you can get right down here and loose there. Okay, let's get a bar now. Over here to my big tool cart. Okay. Wow. These bushings are hung up on there. The natives are restless. And it's this one bushing right here is giving me trouble. It is hung up, not wanting to come loose. Might have to get aggressive with